All right, most of that is something that we already have, for the most part, in the cookbook. So we can start there. And I want, I'm guessing that you're looking for Windows workstations because you didn't mention Mac. Similar kinds of things can be done for Macs as well. But what I would say is here we go, reboot, check, and prompt, I think is or the system reboot on uptime. I think that uses the new prompt. So if you go to, that is the script that I'm going to start with, and I'll open that up in Automation Manager. Go ahead and Chrome here. So download that and then open it in Automation Manager. Love that. Yeah, no, okay. In which case, I'll just open it by hand because that's great that it doesn't want to do that for me. There we go. All right, so first thing we need to do is figure out when the machine rebooted last, and luckily there is an object automatically that can automatically do that. All right, so this one doesn't take any input parameters, but if you wanted to modify it to include something like number of days, so you can adjust it between 14 days, 30 days, or 7 days, or what have you. So if we go here, looks like what it's doing is doing the math to determine when it was last rebooted, and if it is more than 14 days difference, then it checks to see if there is a user logged into the machine. So if the user is logged in, then it's going to pop up this prompt. So okay, so it tells the user, yes, we are going to restart your machine. It has a 5-minute timeout, forces them to log off, and then restarts. And then if there is not a user currently logged in, well, what we can do is go ahead and restart automatically. So what you wanted to do is add in a warning that says if the date is, let's say 13 days instead of 14 days, the difference is this. So what I would do is take this if statement here and replace it with an if else block. So I take that here, should be able to drag that to there. So now I've got an if else instead of an if then. So if the date difference is greater than, let's say 13, yeah, so if it's greater than 13, So this will run whenever we schedule it. So if it's going to run every day, at some point it will get to the point where it is 13 days. If it's greater than 13, then I'll do that same prompt. We can even do one that's specifically to the reboot prompt. Go ahead and drag that in there. And you can actually brand this prompt with your own logo and company name and such. So time to reboot. And then let's give them 24 hours to either reboot or defer. And then, yeah, there we go. So now if the machine hasn't rebooted in 13 days, then the user will get a reboot prompt to say, time to reboot. You have 24 hours. You can defer it as long as 24 hours. But also, if the date difference is greater than 14 days, we'll do the rest of the actions that were already there. So basically forcing the reboot to happen if that number is greater than 14 days. We can probably adjust this so that the reboot prompt here, yeah, just need to sort of order things a little bit differently if you want to make sure that that reboot prompt doesn't coincide with it automatically rebooting on its own. But if it is, where's my else? Okay, so if the yeah, if the date difference is not greater than 13, then what we can do is well, we can just ignore that, take that else out of it, or we can do something like add a line to the log that says, the machine was last rebooted, 12 days ago, or whatever floats your boat there. So that's just sort of a quick and dirty way to do it. There are probably quicker, faster, better ways to manage that. Alan did have a good suggestion where if this is shutting down the machine automatically, that we should probably have some kind of it's probably not a current business hours. Yeah, I think we'll just use get date. So what we can do is provide a little bit of a safeguard so that the machine doesn't automatically reboot during business hours. So if the user is logged in, they will get a notification. That's fine. But if there's no user logged in, what we can do is see what the current time is. Yeah, see, we'll get the current time, and then we'll get a another if statement here. So if the date. Yeah, I have to see what the actual results look like in here for the date format. I feel like maybe there should be a current system time as opposed to a date, but let's see here. Time. Computer uptime. Okay. Yeah, so this would be something where we have to actually manipulate the date string to see what the current hour is. So it'd be, yeah, like that. And be and then what we can do is see if it starts with, you know, AM or PM, or if it has a number between X and Y, and so on. That in itself would be several more steps to see if it's during business hours. There probably should be a an object that can do is the date or is the hour between X and Y.